Recently, a former Homeland Security advisor for former Vice President Mike Pence by the name of Olivia Troye appeared on MSNBC where she talked about the fact, and actually stated outright, that the goal of today's Republican Party, the Republican Party of 2021, is to actively destroy democracy. And what Ms. Troy was talking about is the fact that these Republicans continue to push Trump's big lie. And that is effectively what the Republican Party has become. But she really hit it on the head, right? It's not just that you're continuing to spread the lie that Trump secretly won or that there was election malfeasance. What those lies do, and this is what Ms. Troy was talking about here, is it actually undermines the very fabric of this country as it stands. If there is no trust in elections, there cannot be trust in elected officials. If there is no trust in elected officials, then nothing matters at that point. Not that our elected officials are super trustworthy as people, but the process itself has to be trusted. You know, when a good person gets elected, it's not because they cheated, it's because people said, I want this person. When a crappy person gets elected, it's because people said, I want the crappy guy. That's what happens. And without that, with the constant attacks on the process that yields those results, the public has no reason to trust the system. And if they can't trust the system, then none of this can work. And the problem is you can trust the system, right? Our electoral process, it's ass backwards in many regards with the Electoral College. That's an archaic institution that needs to be abolished. But in terms of being able to go to a polling station, cast your vote, and go on with your day, yeah, that's pretty steadfast. Yes, we have problems with voting machines, problems that those of us on the left have been talking about for 20 years. But Republicans never wanted to address any of those because they actually benefited from those. We know that our voting systems can be hacked very easily, sometimes by children as young as 11 or 12 years old. They've actually done that in replica scenarios. So we know that's a problem. And Democrats, and to their credit, some Republicans for many years actually tried to get more election security to prevent things like that, but Mitch McConnell killed it. So they weren't ever serious about election integrity. They weren't ever serious about actually strengthening the system, the backbone of this democratic society. So all they can do now is whine and stomp their feet and spread these lies that are doing untold damage here in the United States. That is the point that this former Pence advisor was making. I'll take it one further. They're actively trying to destroy democracy, not just by attacking the institutions, but attacking the actual voters themselves. With these repressive voting laws that Republican governors are signing all over the country, I think we've had 11 states so far that have enacted new restrictive voting laws. We have hundreds of other bills pending at the state level that would also further curtail voting rights for American citizens, making it harder to vote, making it harder to get a drink of water while you're waiting in line to vote. In fact, some states making it illegal to hand water to somebody waiting in line to vote. This is exactly what the Republicans want, because this is the only way Republicans can win anymore. That is how horrible that party has become. The party that Ms. Troy, up until last August when she resigned from this administration, she was a part of the system. She was a part of that swamp. I don't know if she still considers herself a Republican or not, but that is what the Republican Party does now. They cannot win elections on merits. They cannot win elections on policies. So when they lose, they say that the whole thing was rigged. And when they win, they make it harder for people to vote to ensure that they get to stay in office after years of doing nothing. And the people will still vote for them because the people who would vote them out aren't allowed to vote anymore. That is the biggest attack on democracy coming from the Republican Party, and they're doing it to save their political lives.